to my colleague Lieve. Thank you very much.
Many thanks, Laura. I'm Lieve Bos, Policy Officer for Innovation Procurement in the Director General responsible for research and innovation in the European Commission. So, a European prize for innovation procurement. Why are we doing that? Well, traditionally, we have been supporting a lot the supply side. We are encouraging researchers, suppliers to create new innovative solutions. But why shouldn't we look also at the demand side? Because ultimately, the goal is that all these innovations, of course, get deployed, they get purchased by customers who can benefit from all the advantages that these innovations can deliver to them. So that's why we have a prize for innovation procurement, for the demand side in other ways. And what is innovation procurement? It can cover several things. Of course, the biggest part is the biggest contribution that innovation procurement can bring is to deploy innovations. So innovation procurement covers those cases where buyers are early adopters, one of the first customers on the market that deploy innovations, purchase them and deploy them. And by doing that, they will reassure other customers on the market that, wow, this works well. I want to have that as well. That's the importance of having enough early adopters. But innovation procurement can also be when there are no customers are looking for new solutions and they don't find them. There are no innovations yet that meet their needs. They can also use procurement to buy research and development, to get new solutions developed and tested, and to steer them towards those needs. That's also part of innovation procurement. So innovation procurements can cover those angles. Now, how does that fit into European policies? Well, the new European Innovation Agenda that the Commission launched 2 years ago is specifically under one of the flagships, mobilizing, encouraging member states to pay more attention to innovation procurement, to get those innovations, those fantastic innovations that are out there or that can be still developed, also deployed. We have a program, the Horizon Europe program for stimulating research and innovation, that has also been paying more attention to stimulating innovation procurement. And in that program, we have the European Innovation Council that is funding this fantastic Innovation Procurement Prize. So what do we want to achieve with it? More attention for innovation procurement in Europe so that more buyers take up innovations. We want to stimulate also all the policies that are and all the areas, all the sectors that need innovations. So of course, everybody knows the Green Deal these days. All sectors around Europe need to become greener, but we have also lots of other challenges. We have a digital transition in Europe. We need to speed up the way we are using digital solutions to become more efficient. But we have challenges also in the healthcare sector, in the transport sector, in different sectors. They all need innovation procurement. What are we meaning by buyers? Who are these procurers? They can be both public procurers and private procurers. Public procurers are public authorities like national authorities, regional authorities, cities, but they can also be public hospitals. They can also be utility companies such as public transport companies, energy companies, water companies, basically everybody who is delivering public services to the citizen in one way or another. And private procurers, those are the others, those that are not delivering public services, but are creating for the economy, doing business on the market, companies that are active, and they also often need innovations and they buy from other companies. So private procurers can also be eligible for these innovation procurement awards. The aim of the awards is to foster innovation, development, testing, deployment of innovative products, services and works, and with that to increase either the quality and efficiency of public services when it's for public procurement, or to improve private products or production processes when it's private procurers who have done great innovation procurements. And en passant, it's always fantastic to see that these innovation procurements attract a lot of small companies who are naturally very innovative, so support to SMEs to grow is also a nice effect of innovation procurement, and it's boosting smart investments on the way. You will see in this year's Innovation Procurement Awards that there are two categories. One is open to any kind of challenge that the procurer needed to get addressed, but there is also one specifically focusing on Europe's transition towards the net zero economy. What does it mean? Europe has put itself the objective that by 2050, we want to become the world's first continent that is completely climate neutral. And we need a lot of innovation to make that happen. What does it mean to be a net zero economy? It means that the balance between the amount of greenhouse gas emissions that are produced, because we will still be producing greenhouse gas emissions, and the amount that we remove from the atmosphere, that those two are in balance, and the net effect is zero. So it means that different kind of innovations can be interesting here, because to become a net zero economy, we need to reduce both the emissions that we can reduce, remove some that we can remove. For example, techniques like CO capture are doing that. And we can also offset emissions, for example, by restoring natural resources, planting trees, and so on. So in this award for net zero economy type innovation procurements, you can submit applications that tackle any kind of innovation procurement initiatives that either had a direct effect immediately on reducing or removing or offsetting emissions, or that have that effect indirectly. So, for example, solutions for circularity that stimulate circular economy may not immediately reduce CO2 emissions, but by reusing products, they prevent that new products had to be produced, and those would have created new emissions. Energy efficiency innovations are, of course, also contributing to the net zero economy to reduce any other innovations that reduce greenhouse gas emissions or that promote more sustainable and responsible production or consumption, that restore natural ecosystems, and so on.
So thank you, Liv, for the explanations. And now let's go to take a look to the pricing details, to the different categories, and to the different. Now, as my colleague has said before, the objectives. So she has already mentioned. So what are the objectives of this price, and especially what we want to do with the Innovation Procurement Awards is support the work that you're all doing in promoting innovation procurement. So that's the main goal of this competition. What are the categories? Also, my colleague already mentioned it. Then you have two categories. The first one, that is Innovation Procurement Initiative category. So here, anything that you have done to address any of the problems that you might have, then everything falls in this category. However, if you have anything related to the net zero transition, as my colleague just explained you, then should go to this one. It's important that you know that you can only apply to one of these two categories. So when you will make your choice to which one apply, then make sure that also when you will go to the system, you will apply to the right one. And in each of these categories, so the winner will receive 75,000 euros, the first runner-up 50,000, and the second runner-up 25,000 euros. It's also important for you to know that it's not only about the money. The AC prices, we are not talking also about only about money, but also about public recognition. Later, we will have the chance to talk to one of our previous winners, and he will also tell you how this prize has changed the way that is perceived, or the companies or the winners are perceived not only in their city or in their region. Also, that's something that will put you in the radar at European level. And then, of course, also you will receive the support through the year of the agency in the different activities that we are doing. So what are the eligibility criteria? So we always say when we will publish this on the 26th of June, when we will open the competition, then go and take a look to the rule of contest. Then there you will see exactly what are the definitions when we refer to the different eligibility criteria, but also to the work criteria. Then there are some footnotes that we have included there to help you to understand better what we are looking for. But in a nutshell, so what we are looking for is any kind of public or private procurer, individual person, or also important, those legal entities that you are doing that such a good work on supporting the use of innovation procurement. So this is the main group of eligible people that can apply. Of course, you have to be established in one of the member states or associated countries to Russian Europe. You will see when you will go to the rule of contents that there is a link to check what are the associated countries to Russian Europe. So then you can see there with no problem. And also it's important to know that then this practice that you will put in the forward for the competition needs to have started after the 1st of January 2019. It's important one thing, because sometimes we receive this question from all of you, is what happens if my activity has not yet finished? So don't worry, you can already present it, and then the work that the jury members they will evaluate is the work that you have done until the moment that you submit your application. Because we know that these practices, the innovation procurement, has different steps, and during the time they are quite long, some of them. So don't worry, come to the competition, apply, and then the jury member they will see what you have done. And of course, the procurement practice has taken place also in the member state or associated countries. So now let's take a look now to the award criteria. Here, I will also invite my colleague Liv to give you a bit more of the flavor of what we are looking for with the different award criteria. So Liv, the floor is yours.
Yeah. So basically, how will your application be evaluated? We use some award criteria for that the jury members will assess. First criterion is transformation. When you procure innovation, you create a transformation, of course, with all the benefits that these innovations bring. So what kind of transformations are we looking for? It's transformations that are converting the procurement practices towards innovation procurement. We already mentioned innovation procurement can cover different things. It can be a procurement of research and development. So if you have procured research and development, even if you have not deployed anything yet, but the research and development had a great impact, please apply. If you have procured innovative solutions, you have deployed them and they had a great impact, please apply. Also, initiatives that triggered several innovation procurements can apply. For example, if you have created a program, an action plan that is triggering several innovation procurements, you can apply. That's for this first award criterion. If we go to the second one, what is that one looking at? It's looking at the effects, the impact, the uptake. Is this innovation procurement practice that it's something that is replicable, something that could be scalable and that could contribute to providing more efficient and effective solutions on a broader scale? Please explain those type of effects clearly in this award criterion, because clearly innovation procurements could be beneficial not only for you as the first procurer who did it, but also for others, other procurers, other users, or other stakeholders that could benefit from your innovation procurement. That's what is award criterion 2. The next one is award criterion 3. Can we go to the next slide? Yes, and that one is looking at collaboration. To do an innovation procurement, it's often not just one person who does this on its own. He needs to collaborate with other departments, the technical department with the legal department. He needs to cooperate with other stakeholders out there to check whether his innovation procurement is going to have the best practices. He's probably buying sometimes not only for himself, but a group of end users. So collaboration can have many aspects. Describe under this criterion any kind of cooperation that was linked to the innovation procurement practice, and any synergies or skill development, capacity building, or other kind of impacts that this collaboration has achieved. That's for this impact criterion number 3. Then we can go to number 4. Yes, that's innovative SMEs and startups and how innovation procurement can help them access procurement markets. So here, what the jury members will be looking for is for you to explain how your innovative procurement practice has facilitated the access of innovative small companies to enter the procurement market. And just to be clear, because the prize is, financed by the European Innovation Council, which is a part of the Horizon program that specifically helps SMEs to grow and to scale up their business. We want to clarify here that the prize is not only open to innovation procurements that have been interacting with the EIC initiatives or within EIC beneficiaries. Also, innovation procurements that have not created synergies but have been complementary with the EIC can apply to the prize. So even if your procurement was awarded to companies that were not in any way associated with the EIC, you can apply for the prize. Then let's look at the next award criterion, number 5. Societal impact. Yes, of course, in the end, what do we want to achieve with an innovation procurement? Impact, of course, on not just for the buyer internally, how his processes or products may have improved, but what does that mean now for society? Can you demonstrate any positive impacts, qualitative or quantitative, on society? Did you improve, for example, the quality of service in healthcare? Did you make transport services more accessible? Impact can be achieved in many ways, but pay emphasis on that. And as Europe is in a green and digital transition, any impacts on greening or on digitizing that have happened in the process are particularly also interesting to mention.
Thank you, Liv. So now let's take a look to the timeline of the competition. As you can see here, we are going to launch the new competition on the 26th of June. So the day we will update everything, all the information in our website. So we will publish the rule of contest, the link to the systems to apply, and then you will have until the 26th of September to apply to the competition. You will see there, and of course, as we always say, you can submit it in any of the EU language to make sure that then you write and you don't have any kind of problem. Then later, you can see here the evaluation, but as I said, you will see of the information in our website. So now let's talk to the past winners that now they will see you and they will show you why it's good that you apply to this competition. So let me welcome the winner from last year, the Giovanni Gaspa from the Sardinia Research Center. So now before we talk with Giovanni, then we are going to see the video of the competition. So. So don't worry, we have a little problem with the video. So then let's give the floor directly to Giovanni, and then like this you can explain us a bit how your experience was in this competition. So Giovanni, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Jorge, for inviting us and thank you, of course, for the award. I'm Giovanni Gaspa. I'm a former policy officer of Sardinia Ricerche, now policy officer here in Brussels, the liaison office of Sardinia region. Let's please first time. Okay. What is Sardinia Ricerche? Sardinia Ricerche is the agency of Sardinia region for promoting research, development, and innovation. We participated to the award competition in the first category, Innovation Procurement Initiative. And I'll try to briefly depict our proposal and share with you some tips afterwards. So first of all, the starting point, the procurement desk is one of the strategic tools of Sardinia Ricerche. From a market survey carried out approximately 10 years ago, we identified two kinds of problems. First of all, our public buyers had got some difficulties related to building tenders procurement due to a lack of qualified human resources and organizational problems. On the other hand, the Sardinian economic operators had got a lack of competitiveness related to the market of procurement. So we thought that demand and supply are two sides of the same coin. So we decided to create a common language understandable to both sides of the market in order to create a friendly procurement framework that is an element required by the rules of contest of the award. Next slide, please. In 2017, we opted for a focus on innovation procurement. To ensure a synergical approach among all activities, we decided to create a specific group, the group of innovation procurement. In this case, what we did, we adapted and improved the methods and tools of the procurement desk related to general procurement in the field of innovation procurement, in the light of the first criterion, transformation. So we depicted in this sense the proposal. Next slide, please. Slide summarizes the set of activities, the wide-ranging of activities of the procurement desk and Sardegna Ricerche. We put in place a set of services like advisory, capacity building, dissemination, foresight, in an ecosystem approach. We succeed in create a virtual and a physical meeting place with more than 4,000 operators, private and public, and we were supported by Enterprise Europe Network, whose Sardegna Ricerche is local node. We depicted and illustrated our proposal in the light of the second and third criterion, uptake and collaboration, providing data information and all the synergies in place with other entities, private and public. Next slide, please. We launched call for proposal in 2017, which is the rationale behind our approach, the approach logic. We opted for a non-centralized cooperative pathway in the field of innovation procurement, ensuring customized support for our public authorities. We preferred to decentralize the procedures in terms of preliminary market consultation, tender procedure, and so on, instead of centralize all the procedure in order to ensure a transfer of know-how and expertise to our public authorities, especially the smallest one. Next slide, please. We launched the two call for proposal, and we were inspired by the motto of the Guidance on Innovation Procurement of the European Commission. Set the level of ambition. We started small with a medium size amount of financiation, funding 8 public administration for instance, 3 innovation partnership. But we decided to raise the level of ambition afterwards and scale up fast with a larger amount of financiation, and we decided to focus on the PCP, only the pre-commercial procurement. Next slide, please. So in these slides, I put in a nutshell a bit of tips, I hope useful to apply and to present. First of all, it could turn out to be obvious, but it is crucial abide by strictly the rules of contest, in particular the eligible activities and the award criteria. As Jorge mentioned, the eligible activities refers to a specific period, so it's really important. And it's essential draft the proposal in the light of each individual award criterion, transformation, uptake, collaboration, and so on. Drafting a well-balanced proposal. So it could be detrimental focusing on 2 award criteria instead of the all 4 criteria. As concerned, for instance, another tip, another hint, for the uptake, but also for the collaboration, it's important to depict, to illustrate the proposal in a European perspective, providing data, information, and KPIs. I found out that it could be really important, the monitoring, because it could be useful, fruitful, specify how project activities impact are where monitoring depends, of course, of the project. But we describe, for instance, some tool like survey, like customer satisfaction, and so on. In conclusion, it could be really important hearing. The jury can focus on the less detailed parts of the proposal. And the hearing could be a great occasion to specify and to elucidate better the proposal and the project. Furthermore, it's essential to choose very carefully the member teams that will be expected to speak, because during the hearing, all the areas of expertise and the know-how must be covered in total. But we could deepen afterwards some other tips, and I'm open, of course, to other questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Giovanni. And now let's talk, and then let's give the floor to our jury member, Professor Philip Bauer. Sorry for if I didn't pronounce it well. So he was our jury member from last year, and I'm sure that he will give you plenty of tips of how to win and how to do the competition. I also take the opportunity to recall you that in case you have any question already to one of the speakers, please use it and send your question through a slide. Thank you.
Then welcome from my side as well. I work in the broad field of smart city, and especially focusing on digitalization and sustainable energy. And there it's important to bring emphasis on the realization of this project, and so therefore procurement is very essential. So I want to give you my point as a jury member from last year from the European Innovation Procurement Awards, and what we learned from the jury where the applications, what they provided us as input, and also where we put special emphasis on. So next slide, please. First, this is try to categorize it to 3 pillars. So the first one is make sure that you have a clear structure and a competitive narrative. So tell us a story which clearly outlines your project goal in innovation and your impact. The second pillar I see is really important to show your uniqueness. So clearly demonstrate what makes your project innovative. Where do you stand out? Show your unique approach. So make clear that this specific points are covered in your descriptions. And then the last pillar is about common pitfalls. I would give you a bit more details in the next slides. Is about, for example, to avoid vague descriptions or unsupported claims or an overly technical jargon. So, for example, as I told you what my specific field of expertise is in the field of digitalization and sustainable energy, all jury members will be specialists for procurement, but it doesn't mean like they are necessarily specialists in your technical field. So with your answers, make clear that they are understandable, and try to avoid this very technical jargon in the descriptions. So yeah, next slide. Perfect. So now I go a bit more in detail about the 3 pillars. So here on the first one, I want to focus that it's very important to read the question and answer the question precisely. So what we quite often saw is an answer which was really good, but it was not the one the question was covering. So when the question specifically addresses the procurement process or the innovation in the procurement process, avoid to describe the technical solutions, for example. So it's very important to read the question and really answer it. And also in a way, when the question has a little bit sub-questions, so answer the sub-questions and keep the order. So So it makes it easier for us jury members to follow your answer, understand your answer, and then also be, it's possible for us then to evaluate it and then to give you points for this specific answer you provided. So this is really important from our side. Second, teamwork for the application. So we talked about the uniqueness. So what we can really see in the applications, if this is application done by one person, like providing maybe a very single-minded viewpoint, or if it's a collective work. So usually a collective work with different viewpoints makes your application better, and also you can emphasize the uniqueness of your approach much better. Also, just don't collect data which hangs out somewhere in servers and put it together in an answer. So really have a second opinion on this and maybe restructure it. This will also increase just your, or improve your application, and then also increase your chances to collect more points. Then the third pillar here, it was the common pitfalls. I was also already talking about one specific point here. I want to focus on that a lot will be asked about the impact. So what is your innovative procurement? What impact does it have? What will the solution have you procure? So this is really important when it's questions about the impact, to provide a measurable outcome. In this case, show how you measure what the new solution, new policy, new technology you are implementing. How you're doing, how you are measuring it, and what is the so that you are able to provide a solid evidence about the measurable or outcomes you have. And the last point here, also go a step further and outline the future potential. So what is the relevance? Consider social aspects, economic advantages. What is the relevance now, and what is the relevance maybe might be in future? So how does it change? How does it improve? This is also very important. Then this is a slide not directly connected to the procurement. It's a platform funded by the European Commission. So this is the reason I was putting it here. So this is just a collection of a lot of use cases, best practices from cities and companies around Europe. And if you want to get some inspiration, maybe what similar projects are done in Europe, and just have some information about it, or going into exchange, I think this is a very good source. This is also the company I'm working for, but it's completely free to use because it's funded by the European Commission. Yes, this was my small part of it. I hope I gave you some understanding how we evaluate your application, and gave you some inspiration about it. Thank you.
Philip, always a pleasure listening to you. It was really good. And also, then as you can see, we have the best jury members every year. So you can see, if you want to see exactly what are the profiles and what kind of jury members will assess your applications, you can go to our website. It's public information because we always believe on the transparency of the competition. So go there, and then you can see who they are. As I said before, now we are going to start with the part of the questions and answers from all of us. So if you have any new questions you would like to that we answer, so then we can see that through the slide. So let's see then what we have here today. So the first one is the price is open to initiatives that trigger procurement programs by regional policymakers, correct? Yes. So as I always say, when you will see in the 26th of June, you will see the rule of contest, you will see that everything is really clearly, is really well explained there. And also in the website, in the when you will apply, when you will use when you will link in the different links that we have, when you will check it, it will you will discover a part of the questions and answers that also there you can see. So how many applications were submitted last year? So Innovation Procurement Awards has been receiving an average around 20, 25 per year. So this is the number that then we had in the past. So the next one, is it possible to apply as a group or consortium, or are only single entities or individual persons eligible to apply? Of course, if you are a group, a consortium, of course, you can have your joint application. You will see when you will go to the system that then there and you will have different parts to indicate each of you. It's important that you all know that in case that you are a group or a consortium, then all of you have to respect and all of you have to be eligible according to the rule of contest. Because if that happens, that one of you is not eligible, then you can have really problems for the rest of the competition. So, for example, if it's a consortium of let's say one member state, somebody that is located in a member state, however, the other one is not based in a member state, then this is not a consortium eligible. So make sure that all of you are eligible to avoid surprises at a later stage. So let's see then, maybe if we have Liebe here with us, then maybe this can be answered for you. So Liebe, we have one of our attendees asking, besides procurers, who else can apply? Which other legal entities or individual persons can apply for the prize? So can you give us some examples about this?
Yes, indeed. Procurers cannot do everything on their own. Sometimes they get help. That can be from experts, individual persons who help the procurer preparing the innovation procurement, launching it, and so on. Could be also competence centers. There are national competence centers in some countries or regional competence centers that help procurers launch innovation procurements. Could be regions themselves, like we just heard from the region of Sardinia, who created an initiative that will be launching multiple procurements in the end, the whole innovation procurement initiative for their region. So these are some examples of other people that are helping procurers to innovate and that can apply.
Thank you. So now let's see the next one that maybe if you want also maybe you can take it. So the prize is open to private entities. Can a company that deliver an innovation to procure apply, or can only companies that bought an innovation apply?
Yeah. So like we said, the prize is for rewarding the demand side, those that have created more demand for innovation. So companies that bought an innovation, yes, sure, they can apply, just like public sector organizations that bought an innovation can apply. If a public sector organization or a private sector innovation that bought an innovation applies, it can apply, like we said, alone or in a consortium, in a group. If it wants to apply together with the supplier who delivered the solution, who helped basically the procurer to innovate, that's fine. But a company that delivered an innovation to a procurer applying on his own without the procurer in there, without therefore any evidence about what was procured, how did this procurement meet all the award criteria, nobody from the demand side there cannot apply, because the purpose of the prize is to award the fact that something happened on the demand side.
Okay, thank you. And then now let's see. So we have here one question. So do projects need to be funded by EC to be eligible for a prize? No. As we said before, the projects that you can put for this competition then can be or not funded by the European Commission. And of course, as we mentioned before, it's not compulsory that you have any link, a strict link with the EIC. So if you worked before with us, that's okay. If you didn't work with us before, that's also okay. So the jury members, they will not give you extra points or will not penalize you if you didn't have any link to the European Union, let's say, in the broader sense. So maybe Liv, if you want, then we can also give you the floor with this one. So can you clarify better which type of innovation procurement initiatives can apply? Only procurements that deploy that innovation or also R&D procurements?
Yeah. all types of procurements basically that triggered innovation. So not only procurements that deployed an innovation, they can apply, of course, but also procurements that both R&D can apply, because in the end, they are also stimulating innovation. They are part of what we call innovation procurements in the European Union. So yes, they can apply.
Yeah, thank you. So then, how can I show compliance with our criteria number 4? So that was, if you remember, the facilitating access to the market for SME startups. And as we said before, the AC beneficiaries, but this not, as I said before, even is not a requisite to the AC beneficiaries. One thing that maybe now we'll give the floor also to Philippe about how they assess the different criteria. One of the things that we always say is that the jury members, they really need to see data. So for example, in this one, facilitating access to the market for SMEs. So you can say, for example, if you did some activity, if you did this concrete procurement or this concrete project, so how many startups, SMEs, they benefit for that. So what was the impact of what you did in the other side? So if I invested this, I opened the market in this way, in this way, in this way. So all these companies, they could apply, they could work, and then we have changed the market in this sense. So that's also the way, because we want to measure the impact that you had. So maybe Philip, you can make a general reflection about the importance of having concrete data. That's something that you can touch when you open the applications. So maybe this you can mention a bit more.
Yeah, I think I would also have told the same, right? What you already covered, George, with the data. So it's important to bring transparency in the process and show with measurable data the process, how open it was, or what specific approach you focused. So the applications we get are very diverse, so they are very different in the ways, or can be very different in how they tackle innovative procurement. So it's not the one answer I can give you, because it really depends also on your in general approach. But in this approach, think about what data you have, can you measure the impact in some way, and be transparent in this, and so the jury members can get an understanding about it.
Thank you, Philippe. So as you can see, so pay really attention to all these tips that our jury member is giving to you, because that will really help you on the competition. So now let's move to maybe one of our to Giovanni. So here they are asking how long does it take to fill in the application. So maybe you can give them your experience. You can say a bit how was the process, and for them if they have to invest a lot of time.
Thank you, Jorge. So, frankly, I would like to point out that that was the second participation to the prize. So, because we reached the semi-final 2 years ago, last year we participated, submitted the proposal again. So, in this case, we won, fortunately. As a rule, I could say that the first time was completely new. So a bit of time was required. I'm referring to the drafting of proposal, because it's not easy to synthesize, to summarize many years of work, but it is required, so it's mandatory. And in general, I could say at least 2 weeks for the proposal, 10 days, 2 weeks to collect data, evidence, to choose the activities eligible, because as mentioned by Jorge, there is a temporal restriction. So we left out many activities before, in that case, the 1st January of 2018, if I remember well. The second Second time was easier because we got used a bit to the competition, to the hearing, because we had already did the hearing. So in general, was easier. I could say the second time we took less time, perhaps 1 week, but it depends on the project and on the proposal. The first time everything is new, so you need a bit of time and concentrate on it.
Thank you, Giovanni. So, and also one of the things that we always say to the applicants in all the prices. So it's important that you tell a story. So when you come here, that then maybe you have different activities, you have different projects, but it's also good that then you put them in a nice way that then later when the jury members, they will read it, they will see, okay, this is consistent what you are talking. So consistent from the point of view of the work criteria, consistent in the point of view of the data that you are using to support what you are saying. So you cannot say only, I have done this, as we talked before about the work criteria number 4. So I have done this, and these are the data that support and make that the jury members will believe what I'm saying. And as we said, then you will have 15 pages. 15 pages if you take out the cover and some of the parts. Then at the end you have around 10, 11 pages. So then you have to use, then go straight to the point. Don't don't sell plenty of things. Then say exactly what you have to say. And also it's important that you will see that there is the different work criteria. You are completely free to answer to all of them. However, pay attention to one thing. You have to pass the threshold on all the work criteria. So it means that if you are excellent in the number 1, and then you write plenty of things in 1, 2, 3, but then you go to the number 4 and you don't have more space, and you write only a couple of sentences, then the jury members will evaluate it, will score you really low on those ones. So you will not pass the 4 and the 5, and then you will be out of the competition. So balance all of this, because otherwise, if it's not a balance between the 5 work criteria, then you will not pass the individual and the global threshold. So now let's go to the next question. Our procurement is innovative, at least on a national level, but we are not sure if it's innovative on EU level. Should we enter the competition? Of course. We always say to all of you, all what you are doing is innovative, at least in your region, at least in your country. So do it, go for it, and then later, then the jury members, they will tell you what they think. But of course, don't leave anything on the table. Go, you can be proud of what you are doing. So, and then maybe this is the time, because I know that sometimes we are a bit and say, I'm not proud enough, or maybe I'm a bit shy. Don't do it. Don't worry about that, and then go to the competition, because even if you don't win, you will always receive the feedback from experts, like is the case of Philip, and they will tell you, and it will be always a rewarding experience.
Something that I could add to that, if I may, innovation can also happen in many ways. It doesn't include only product innovation. Of course, if you bring a totally new product to the market, it's clear that there is innovation, but innovation can also be service innovation, process innovation, marketing innovation. So there are many ways of being innovative, and procurement can trigger all this innovation and bring it to the market. Keep that in mind also.
To add that yes, apply, and if the question arises about the potential, right, you can also think about what could be the potential to scale it to a European level, if this is applicable, and then just use this in this regards as well. Not necessarily, but if it's applying that you see a potential to scale it on a EU level, then you can also put it in the application.
And there are different ways of scaling innovations. Of course, selling an innovative product across more geographic areas is a way of scaling, but it's not the only way. It's also, innovation includes also reusing existing innovations, but in a new way, or improving an existing innovations so that they become existing products or services so that they become better, or combining different existing products in a different way, or using innovations in a new sector so that they create new innovative effects there. So scaling can happen in many ways.
Thank you. And now let's talk about the impact. So there is somebody asking if it's the impact should be already made or can currently running projects also be part. As I mentioned before, then we have, and I think there's another question about also the timeline. So what we are required, in order to be eligible, your project needs to have started after the January 2019. Why we say that? Because but so everything that can be between January 2019 and the 26th of September 2024 is eligible for this competition. So everything that happens doesn't you don't need to have a completed or a closed project. So because as I said before, then there are many parts, many steps. So everything that is between this time frame, then you can present it. In some cases, and maybe now talking about Giovanni, you can tell us also your experience. In some cases, some of the applicants, they tell you the whole story. So they tell you where they come from, what they have been doing, and then they say, now that you have this background, this is what I'm putting forward for the competition. So 2019, 2024. And then, of course, we know that in the future, then because we are still running, but we know that with this there where we want to arrive. So maybe, Giovanni, you can tell us a bit how you did your application in this sense.
So we will our application we depict the application trying to respect all the rules in terms of the times, in terms of the kind of activities, because we decided to precise in our application the governance model, the use of governance model, the kind of activities related to realizing Sardinia, and afterwards we specified all the call for proposal, the project funded related to innovation procurement. So the PCP, the innovation partnership, and so on. In general, what can I say about our participation? I could say that all the applicants should participate to the competition, because it gives great visibility to all the activities put in place, and could, from our point of view, what we did, through what we did, we succeed in rendering innovation procurement more attractive for the SMEs, Sardinian and not, and for Sardinian public authorities. So it is a crucial occasion to give visibility to this tool, to this instrument, and even though a project, a proposal doesn't win, because in the first year we didn't reach the first place and nor the second, but we had got a bit of visibility. This year, really better, and we received attention, and the innovation procurement received attention, because, for instance, we are planning, first of all, we are planning with Enterprise Europe Network an event in July, the annual meeting of the Enterprise Europe Network, and will describe and depict what Sardegna Ricerche did in the field of innovation procurement. And moreover, in conclusion, we are pushing for another program, and the innovation procurement will be part on next cycle of regional development program.
Thank you, Giovanni. And now let's talk. So here, so is the size of the project relevant? So you run a project with a budget of 300 plus more or less. So it's not a disadvantage. As you can see in the work criteria, we don't mention anything about the size and budget. So the important thing is that then you respect the eligibility criteria and of course the work criteria. One thing that I want to mention also as a kind of a disclaimer, because we have been answering here some questions on the spot, and of course when we said if an application is eligible or not, or so these kind of things, we have been saying in some cases that yes, but of course we cannot prevent once you will apply to this with this concrete project that everything will. So it's important that then you know that. So come to the competition, let's try it, and then later if something there is any kind of problem, then the jury members will tell you. But it's important for you to for me to make the disclaimer to avoid any kind of problem for later on. So is it required that you did an European tender, you have a project with national Dutch tender? I think this is relevant. As I said before, I don't have the full picture of this question, but it's important. So what you say is that you have here a Dutch tender. So as I try to understand what you mean here is that you are a national member state. So I think that's the case. That should be okay. I don't know if Lieve, you want to comment on something.
Yeah, indeed. Some tenders are published in the European tender database, others in national tender databases. We don't have any requirement in the criteria that you should have published your tender here or here. So if you published it in the national tender database, that is fine. Of course, when you will be answering the criteria about impact, scalability, and so on, you will be in competition with other proposals that may have done a European tender, may have had, I don't know, more suppliers also from other countries. So be aware that you take into account to explain then very well how you achieve the impact if it was a national tender. Yeah, so that the jury members can evaluate those things.
So thank you, Lieve. Now that you are here with us on the screen, so the next one for you. Let's try because we have now a couple of minutes and we have to close. So
yeah.
Can a startup apply with a working prototype to enhance procurement processes?
Yeah, the question is not providing maybe all the information, but if this startup just developed on its own a working prototype, it's in its laboratory, but it has not had any contact with any procurer, then there has been no innovation procurement activity happening in any way, and then you cannot apply. If, on the other hand, this startup has developed this prototype in the context of a procurement, it was a procurer who bought the R&D, the development of the prototype, then the procurer can apply, and the startup will be mentioned in the application and so on. But a company on its own who has developed something and had no contact with a procurer, there has been no type of innovation procurement activity, cannot apply, no.
Okay, thank you. And so the last one, so the format of the application. So you will see that when you will register, and then when you on the 26th of June in our website, we will put the links to the system. So there you will see which one is the application form, and it's quite easy and straightforward. So you don't need to change anything. It's a Word document, and then with the different parts for the 5-hour criteria. So you go there, you write directly in those parts. You don't change anything. You don't add logos. You don't change nothing. So you just write it there and you send it back. It's really easy. And the last one, if you want to leave it like this, we close with the last questions. Can the implementation of a new internal process promote sourcing and buying innovation from industrial companies within a new private company be eligible?
I'm trying to understand the question here. So buying innovation from industrial companies, that sounds good. Somebody has bought innovation from industrial companies. But then within an EU private company, what does that mean?
So
well,
if you want, maybe
from
in
the
case...
moment there has been buying of some innovation, I would say you can apply, whether you're a private or a public procurer, whether it has had impact on on which type of companies does not matter. What matters is that those that apply are from an EU member state or an associated country.
And as I mentioned before, so as we don't have the full background of each of your questions, then please don't give by granted completely what, for example, in these cases, because we will need, and of course the jury members, they will need to assess the full proposal when they will come to when you will apply. But as I said, come and apply to the competition. So now, just as a final remarks, I want to thank to all of you your participation in this info session. To all the speakers, Live, Giovanni, Philippe, it has been a real pleasure. And now here you can see on the screen the other EIC prizes that we have. So we have one on social innovation that is talking about a digital democracy. You have time until the 11th of June. We have the European Capital of Innovation Awards, where you can win 1 million euro if you are a city. So here you still have time until 18th of June. And then also at the end of June, we will open the European Prize for Women Innovators. So also this one, we will provide with you with more information. So please feel free to participate and to spread the word. So thank you to all of you. Also, of course, thank you to my colleagues behind the screens for making possible this info session. And in case that you have any question, of course, you can always contact us in our functional mailbox. And of course, you can register to our mailing list and website. Thank you very much, and hope to see you in the competition.